Hello again, everyone. Hope you are well on this Sunday it's late morning actually. It's not quite afternoon. I'm in the RAV4, gassing it up, about to gas it up for Mrs. Dog for the upcoming week, starting tomorrow. Yes. 2018 RAV4. This thing, y'all, got 81,000 miles on it. Just getting broken in. This thing runs like a top, like a well-oiled sewing machine. We've just done routine maintenance on it and plan to keep it for a long time. We really do. I believe we need to prepare or, depending on your situation, continue preparing as if you are in the Great Depression, because I believe we are in a Great Depression. We are either in or heading towards it. I believe we're in it. I really do. For a lot of folks, not everybody, I know. But I believe we need to prepare for it and continue to live like we are in a Great Depression, because I believe that unlike the 1930s, we have some added elements to this, y'all. I believe crime is rising to a next level like no other. So violent crime as well. It's not just if you're in a bad neighborhood. It can be anywhere, anytime. So I believe we've really got to concentrate on that, especially the things I'm talking about here right now is security, self-defense, and food, water, the basics. There are a lot of facets to it, but I'm going to talk about those two, some parts of that today. I have two terrific passages I'm going to share with you that are super encouraging, so stay tuned for that, all right? But first, we spent the day yesterday at a family homestead north of us up in the North Georgia mountains, y'all. It's only about an hour drive from us, and not a bad ride, and we had a good time. We practiced with our self-defense tools. We will put it that way, and I will tell you, we had firearms and we had less than lethal weapon that we practiced with, and I'll more on that in a minute. If you're not comfortable with your traditional type of self-defense tool, there are other options, and I'll go into that. And we believe in them. We do. But we had a good time with it. Mrs. Dog got in on the action. Just wasn't the guys, it was the ladies too. So we had fun with it. And nothing was damaged, human or otherwise, so that was good. But yeah, I think it's important to do that, to practice with that. Also wanted to mention, we are in we're November, what's the day? November 2nd, I believe. And I didn't keep up with a lot of news yesterday. I don't think I've heard of any incidences as far as grocery stores or violence, any big stories about that as far as related to the end of the funding for SNAP funds. It's supposed to start yesterday as far as the ending of that. Now, tomorrow's Monday, November 3rd. That could be a different story. So I would continue to be alert out there, especially if you're going into a food store and you're coming out. I would try to keep it to short purchases, don't, go in there with a cart full just yet. I know we've stocked up very well last weekend, so we're good for a while. But back to self-defense, I believe that that's important, and I think that's one of the things. If you look at the 1930s, and I'm sure crime is always an issue anytime in history, but I believe in this modern era, I believe we have added things to consider, like crime. We have a nation divided like just about no other time. That's an issue. And so we just don't ever know when something's going to happen. You got road rage that I believe is on a scale that's worse than ever. It's Mad Max out here, pretty much. It's almost like the Wild West. So, food prep is something I'm going to talk about, but security, like I said yesterday, we need to do more practice for sure. But and everybody's different with this. If you're, first of all, the older I get, the more comfortable and the more I have an appreciation for just your basic, the simplicity of a 6-shot revolver, or just a simple revolver, y'all. I just prefer that nowadays. And some people might say no, but it depends on your preferences, right? If you are not comfortable with a firearm, there are other options. I've mentioned this one before. I'm not affiliated to them, but I'm going to mention it, and I think you should research it if you're not comfortable with the other stuff. Is Byrna. They spell it like that. There are other options out there that are similar to this, but we like this one. So if you just Google it, look at their website, you can research their options. It's an investment in security, definitely. And it's what they call non-lethal or less than lethal, they call it. But I'm not going to go into the details. Just look at the website, research it. If it's something you're interested in getting, what I would do and what we have done is there are tons of videos on YouTube that are demonstrating the Byrnas. They call it the Byrna launcher. And usually most of these YouTube channels have affiliations with them or something similar, or somebody that sells them, and you can get a discount code. We've done that. So go that route if you're going to get one. That's what I recommend. Save a little money. Who doesn't like a discount code, right? So, but I believe security is paramount nowadays, y'all. Whether you're in a large city, suburbs, rural areas, maybe even more in a rural area, y'all. Maybe even more. I used to want to live out in the middle of nowhere with nobody around me, but I think it's important to be. I think there's a medium there. I want some people around me. There's pros and cons. I know, but as far as food preservation, water is huge, right? We have to have water. We can 3 days, I believe, without water. So you got to have that. If you're near a stream or river or something like that, make sure you have the Life Straw or the mini Sawyer or some kind of filtration devices, or your water filtration is important. You can store some water too, but water is heavy, So think about water. Also, food preservation, and I've mentioned this before. I'm going to go into a little more detail, but you can freeze it, you can dehydrate it, you can can it, you can get non-perishable stuff. We have a combination of all of that. Think Depression era. Think about even the time when we were growing up, and I know we were talking about this a lot yesterday in our day with some family, and we did a lot of Hamburger Helper, and some of us were like, yeah, we were poor and didn't know it. Now, I know in my situation, we were pretty solid middle class. And I don't even know, it might have been the lower middle class. We did a lot of Hamburger Helper, and we did a lot of meals that stretch. It's a family of 4, of us. And so sometimes we just had fish sticks and some fries. Sometimes we, and now we do just 2 of us, Miss Dog and I. But we stretch our meals. We've made a big shift. Well, we didn't always do this, but we both work full time, Monday through Friday. So we do a lot of soups, a lot of stews, chilies, spaghetti, casseroles, tacos, something you can stretch into at least 2-3 meals or more. So think in those terms. What can you do? What can you prepare that lasts a while? Even if it's just 2 people. what we are trying to do is get in a position. We have a plan so we can maintain if one of us loses our job, because there are so many job losses going on right now. And that may be for another video. I don't know if I have time to go into that one, but that's a big one too. But we're trying to prepare to where we can sustain with one of us not working. And we have a plan. We're working on it. We're making progress. And I know at the top of that is two-pronged. It's lowering expenses and paying off debt. And we have some debt. And so we're knocking it down, and we're continuing to do that. We have a plan. Now, if you are debt free, that's great. If you are not alone. Okay. And do not let people browbeat you and make you feel bad, and do not beat yourself up for having debt. Okay. It's not always foolish decisions. Yes, a lot of times it is. And we learn. We're young and we learn, right? But a lot of times life happens, y'all. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't let people make you feel bad about it. Okay, listen. Bad things happen to good people all the time. We've experienced it. You can have a health emergency, unemployment, sudden emergencies. Life happens. So, if you have debt, make a plan, try to knock it down, and work at it, and have steps in there where it's attainable, that we can check it off. Okay, I did that card, or I did that particular loan is gone. And so that motivates you to power through. That's what we're doing. Do it to the best of your ability. Everybody's budget is different. I get it. So, and then the other part of that is we're trying to make our meal stretch. I think with food prices are going to continue to go up, y'all. Food prices, the thing about grocery prices is they're not going to come down, y'all. And we hear grocery prices aren't coming down. They're not coming down. I don't care what happens. I don't care who's president. I don't care who's in Congress. They're not coming down. You might see a temporary sale. You might see a BOGO. And that's cool. Grab it. If it's something you eat, if it's something you're going to use, grab it. Especially if it lasts a while, it has shelf life. But they're permanent increases. And they keep increasing. Those are permanent. So we know this, right? So the more that we can stretch food, the more that we can be smart about it, the better we're going to be. We can grow what you can. Not everybody does that. Not everybody wants to do that. I get it. Even if you live in an apartment, you can grow some things. But the other part is what we're doing too. Like I said, we have a small garden, but we work in it. Our time is limited too. But we do grow some things, mostly spring and summer. Winter, we do like I was telling you, we make meals stretch. Think about when you were growing up. Think about your grandparents. Think about maybe your ancestors. Old cookbooks. We have old cookbooks from some of our ancestors. They still work, right? It takes a little time. We do a lot of that on the weekends because we work during the week. So think in those terms, because things aren't coming down. Food, utilities, insurance, just basic cost of living things. Fuel, that kind of stuff. Like I said, non-perishable. If you can afford a small generator, that would be good. If it's solar, that's good too. Especially if you have a freezer. Even if you just have one small generator that is capable of keeping an appliance running, you can worst case, you can alternate that between the freezer and the refrigerator. Keep both going at the very least, right? And some of your electronics. So think about that. These are investments. The value of our dollar keeps diminishing, y'all. And they're going to print more money because they just, with the Fed making that interest rate cut, I think it was last week, and they're going to continue doing that. They're going to keep cutting. They're going to print more money. It's going to devalue. We're going to see more inflation. Think about that. People talk about precious metals all the time. it's not for everybody. We are not in a category where we are gold people. You know, gold. I mean, that's awesome if you can. Have it in a safe place. Man. Silver is an option. Silver is an option. Junk silver. That's 90% silver that is pre-1965 coins, your dimes, your quarters, your nickels. If you have those, save them. Save them. And you can buy those too. I'm not affiliated with sellers of that kind of stuff. There are tons of videos on that stuff. You just search it. A lot of preppers talk about it too. We eat out less. You know, just about every Friday evening, I will grab something and take it home. It's like a treat. It's like a reward. It's Friday. Nothing wrong with that. Treat yourself sometimes. Don't totally deprive yourself, okay? Be smart about it. We eat out less. We pack our snacks. When we went to see family yesterday, we packed our stuff. We have a cooler. We put a ice in it. We put some ice blocks in it. We loaded it up with drinks. We put our snacks, protein snacks, you know, trail mix and that kind of stuff in there, protein bars and that kind of thing. It's good to have that kind of stuff on hand anyway, and water, because you never know. What if you have a breakdown? What if there's an unexpected, you know, the road shuts down or something? You never know. So that's cheaper too. You pack your own snacks, pack your own lunch. We pack our lunch every day when we go to work. I don't do Starbucks. This dog, I know, don't do it. Now, once or twice a week, when I go to Quick Trip or I fill up at Quick Trip, I get a small coffee. It's like $2 and change, y'all. Treat yourself sometimes. To me, that's a treat. There's something next level about the Quick Trip coffee, y'all. I don't know. Let me know if you think the same thing. But I could drink my caffeinated coffee at home. You know, it's good. It's good. But that Quick Trip coffee, y'all, is something else. I don't know what they put in there, but it gives me a jolt of energy like no other. I don't know what's in that stuff. And I get a small. I don't even get a medium or large. People come in with these big large things. I don't know what. I don't know how they. I don't know. I don't know if I could function with that much. Anyway, I digress. But you know, think about those kind of things, because you know, we are not in a golden age right now. I'm sorry. It might be for some folks. But we are not in one. We haven't been in one. Okay? It could turn around some in the next couple of years. I don't know. We don't know. I hope so. But I don't think it is, personally. I really don't. I'm just hoping we don't have full-blown World War III. Y'all, that's my... Man, that would that would change the whole situation, right? But what you can pretty much bank on is food prices are not coming down. Utility prices and all that stuff is going to keep going up. All these data centers, man, that's a whole nother thing, right? But look at your self-defense. Look at your food preservation. Look at your expenses. What can you cut? What can you invest in that's going to help you? Right? I'm going to go to a passage. I'm going to go to 2 awesome passages, y'all. And also, don't forget, if you can, if you're able, donate to the food banks. There are reports of a lot of food banks that are having long lines starting yesterday. Well, starting before yesterday, but especially yesterday, I saw some reports nationwide of food banks that are really getting hit hard, real hard. And not just the real poor, homeless, or people with SNAP, or had SNAP. It's unemployed people, federal workers and non-federal workers. People just laid off are struggling, like many people are. Okay? Donate if you can. Your food banks, your pantries, your giveaways, that kind of stuff. First one is 2 Samuel. I haven't read from that, or maybe not in a while. 2 Samuel Start with 2 Samuel chapter 22, start with verse 33. It is God who arms me with strength and makes my way perfect. Excuse me. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enables me to stand on the heights. He trains my hands for battle. My arms can bend a bow of bronze. You give me your shield of victory. You stoop down to make me great. You broaden my path beneath me so that my ankles do not turn. Amen. I mean, just saying that gives you encouragement, right? I mean, come on. Psalm. We're in Psalm chapter 56, verse 3 and 4 says, and we hear this throughout. It's just, I think for a reason we just hear it so much in the Bible. When I am afraid, I will trust in you. In God, whose word I praise. In God I trust. I will not be afraid. What can mortal man do to me? Yeah, that's huge. What can mortal man do to us, y'all? If we have him. That's the bottom line, y'all. All right. Let's stay close to Jesus, our Savior in Christ. And keep your preparations up. Share your thoughts. And we're about to go into a new week. Let's stay alert out there. Be safe. God bless you. I'll see you soon.